Right then, so it is official. Canelo versus Crawford is now apparently not happening after all the rumours we have heard about, it coming out from, big reliable sources that Canelo versus Crawford would happen. It is now apparently not going to happen. Yeah, it's a massive, massive, massive shame because this is the biggest fight in boxing right now, especially for the hardcore fans. There's a certain other fight that Canelo might be ducking Crawford for, but surely if he is ducking him, which let's be real, people are going to say, he's not. Canelo is the one who would be turning this fight down. Now it's not happening. Why would Crawford turn this fight down? If you think about it properly, why would Crawford turn this fight down where he's got everything to gain and nothing really to lose as a smaller man by 3 weight classes? So why would Crawford turn this down? Plus, what other big fight is there for Crawford right now? You can't really think of one. This is the biggest possible fight for Terence Crawford. It's Canelo that we've been hearing who's in talks with Jake Paul. And the money's probably better for that fight for Canelo. But boxing-wise, legacy-wise, this is the fight, Canelo and Crawford. And if you think about it as well, Canelo was the one who had all the pressure on him going into this fight against Terence Crawford. Canelo was the one with the pressure. So, that's why Canelo might have had second thoughts about it and taken that Jake Paul fight instead. I mean, I think, I've seen people who were okay with Canelo taking that Jake Paul fight. I think it's still a joke, but with that Crawford fight on the table, people were like, we'll let it slide. But now the Crawford fight's off apparently and isn't going to happen. That is what people are starting to question now. And, again, if you're thinking about it clearly, look at Canelo, look at his opponents, these last few fights he's had. But still, though, how come Canelo was all right to fight Jermell Charlo, though, where, he had nothing big to gain out of that anyway, but now he's not taking the Terence Crawford fight? Everything adds up to Canelo ducking this fight, with the Jake Paul fight literally around the corner possibly for him that is being talked about. Or unless, there was just something stupid going on in the negotiations between both sides. I don't know. But if anything, Canelo's the one who's been in talks with other fighters and had other things in his mind and could be swayed by a possible money fight with Jake Paul. That is what I'm thinking. You don't hear Crawford in the background, negotiating with any other person. You don't hear that. Everything was about Canelo, Canelo, Canelo. What's Canelo going to do? So, if anything, this is Canelo not wanting to take the fight, or it's that Turki Al-Sheikh's got pissed off because he's heard the rumors about Canelo versus Jake Paul, and Turki Al-Sheikh doesn't want to, he don't want to concern himself with anything to do with Canelo if he ends up taking that Jake Paul fight, because apparently it's looking really close, but that's for another video. This is about Canelo possibly ducking the Terence Crawford fight. But look, you never know, though. There might have been something else that happened, and possibly the David Benavidez fight might be happening on Mexican Independence Day or the weekend of Mexican Independence. So that could be a possibility. But that's in September, though. And that gives, the winner of Bivling Bertabiev perfect time to turn around and fight Benavidez in September. So, and Benavidez is mandatory, and Turki Al-Sheikh said that Benavidez is the next one in line for Bertabiev versus Bivol. And it looks like, Benavidez is happy at light heavyweight at the minute. So, it doesn't look like that's happening. The only one you think of now is Jake Paul, because that's the one that people have been talking about. And I've been saying, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm still not sure if it definitely will, but I'm concerned that it might happen now. I'm concerned that it might happen. I don't think you fight Benavidez. He priced himself out of that fight already. And I don't know if this is a matter of Canelo pricing himself out once again of this Terence Crawford fight, or if he's just looking at other options with bloody Jake Paul. But who else is he going to fight that's a bigger fight than Terence Crawford money-wise for him? Canelo's not going to be, ducking this fight to then, fight a mandatory at super middleweight. Like, that's not happening. Like, he's not going to be fighting like Diego Pacheco or Christian Mbile. Like, he's not going to be, fighting one of them instead of Crawford, because he hasn't been ordered to fight any of them. You know, he's been allowed to fight Terence Crawford. But now this fight's off, there is something fishy going on, and we've been hearing things about Canelo this, Canelo that. And it is getting concerning now that the fight that a lot of us hardcores are scared to see might actually bloody happen. But yeah, I think Turkel Shake's pissed off. I really do, and that could be an issue here. And you know, like we have heard in the past as well, though, that you know there were issues between Turkel Shake and Canelo. Then eventually, you know, at the Ring Magazine Awards, you know, they were eventually apparently in those negotiations for a Terence Crawford fight. But, you know, we heard things that apparently Canelo just wanted to work for himself and was pricing himself out for Turkel Shake. Is that the case? Or is it a case now, you know, Canelo's changed his mind on not wanting to work with Turkel Shake? Because that's not the case with Crawford, because he's already worked with Turkel Shake. And we've heard how complimentary Terence Crawford is of Turkel Shake. You know, we've seen it, you know, especially with everything that was going on with Tank. Crawford's a very loyal guy to Turkel Shake. Canelo, we haven't really seen that from him yet. So, again, everything adds up to Canelo not wanting this fight now. It's off. There's no reason for Crawford not to take this fight, though. That's the thing. Crawford's got everything to gain here. If Crawford wins this fight, if it still happens, which it's not like, which apparently it's off now, but if he was to win, this would make Terence Crawford one of the best boxers to ever walk the planet. 100% it would have. Canelo still winning this fight, though. He would have got a lot of credit for it. He would have moved up in the pound-for-pound rankings, and it would still count as one of Canelo's biggest ever wins. But it's strange to me. He's happy to take that Jamal Charlo fight, but then, you know, we heard things before, you know, before the negotiations for this fight were being made. Canelo saying, "Oh, I gained nothing out of this. He's 3 weight classes below me." But then, you know, we heard negotiations. Now this fight's not happening. It all adds up to Canelo not wanting this fight, and especially with these other rumors that we've heard from him. But, you know, people saying, "Oh, it might," I mean, you know, I've seen people saying, "Oh, surely now this isn't happening. Something big is coming instead." The only thing you can think of is the Benavidez fight. But as of right now, that doesn't make sense, though, because Benavidez is next up for Bivol or Bertabiev, and let's be real, it's a better look for Benavidez to, you know, stay at light heavyweight and fight one of those guys and go for the light heavyweight undisputed titles. So that's probably what Benavidez will do. This is like the only massive, other than the Benavidez fight for Canelo, this is the only massive this is the only massive fight right now there is for him, legacy-wise, if we're being completely honest. Other than that, Canelo's done it all in the sport. But if he takes this Jake Paul fight, it's very clear he's been ducking Benavidez all this time. And clearly he's been ducking Crawford. But I think it's clear already to see that. If you just really, you know, have a real good think about it, it's Canelo who's ducking this fight against Terence Crawford. We haven't heard loads out of it yet. But you can put these pieces together and you think that Canelo's ducking Terence Crawford, because there's no reason for Crawford not to take this fight. This is the biggest fight for Terence Crawford right now, the biggest money fight for Terence Crawford right now. Crawford very clearly likes working with Turkel Shake. But I mean, no, if this isn't happening, surely Turkel Shake has got another plan in place, though. I mean, he might have a big fight, another big fight for Crawford, but because if this Canelo Jake Paul fight is happening, we all know for a fact Turkel Shake won't want anything to do with it. Or is it Canelo pricing himself out and just wanting to work for himself? Because we know Canelo likes to promote himself, likes to, you know, work with the PBC as well. But, you know, promote his fight, you know, just, you know, announce his own fights, do all that. I don't know. Or is it, you know, just all a joke and really, you never know, in a few days' time, this might end up getting announced. And, you know, they're just trying to, you know, people around are just trying to, you know, dead the rumors to the press, then, you know, just announce it at some point. That could be something. I don't know. But, yeah, from what we're hearing from every big source right now, this fight is off.